Actually, it's a little heavy. It is 7 o'clock on November 18th, and we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gary,
Here.
Commissioner Baker,
Here.
Commissioner Bospis Rath,
Here.
Commissioner Collins,
Here.
Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Talentino,
Here.
Commissioner Twardy.
Commissioner Twardy is out of town, and Commissioner Miller called and wasn't able to make it tonight. Somebody like to make a motion to excuse them? Commissioner Collins?
Make a motion to excuse Commissioner Twardy and Commissioner Miller.
Is there support? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And they're excused. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Well, we're back to post-election time crowds here in the commission chambers. A little quieter tonight. And item number 4, mayor comments and general announcements. There are none. Proclamations and recognitions. There are some?
Nope, none.
There are none. Notice of public comment. Public comment on scheduled agenda items. At this time, any person can reserve time to speak on any agenda item not to exceed 3 minutes. I'll call for public comment at the time the agenda item is addressed from this list of individuals that reserve time to speak. Would anybody like to speak on any of our agenda items tonight? All right, seeing none, on to the consent agenda.
Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of City Commission meeting minutes of November 11th, 2019. Item 2, acceptance of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority meeting minutes of October 8th. Item 3, acceptance of the Downtown Development Authority meeting minutes of July 10th, August 14th, September 11th, and October 16th. Item 4, acceptance of the Economic Development Corporation meeting minutes of October 8th. Item 5, acceptance of the Historic Structures Management Committee meeting minutes of November 6th. Item 6, acceptance of the Police Fire Pension Board meeting minutes of August 7th. Item 7, acceptance of the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting minutes of September 18th. Item 8, acceptance of the City Tree Commission meeting minutes of June 18th and September 17th. Item 9, appointment of Patrick McConaughey to the District Library Board for a term to expire December 31, 2023. Item 10, reappointment of Kelly Freeman to the EUP Regional Planning and Development Commission governing body for a term to expire on January 31, 2022. Item 11 is acceptance of the resignation of Eric Welch from the Zoning Board of Appeals. And item 12 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager Troyer. Is there any commissioner that would like any of these items further explained or removed for a vote? Commissioner Collins?
Just a question. Do we have anybody that is interested in the zoning board of appeals to fill that spot?
City Manager? City Clerk?
I'll review the boards and commission applications that we have on file and then get with the staff liaison to get an appointment before the commission.
Thank you.
Any others? Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Commissioner Talentino?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any question or comment? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gary? Yes. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bospis Rath?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you. Under item E, special orders of business, we have none. And moving on to F, communications.
Item 1 under communications is from the Economic Development Corporation, E-Cities Award.
At this time, we'll have Jeff Holt come up and present an award for the E-Cities program.
Good evening, Jeff.
Commissioner.
have that on the? Okay. Each year, the University of Michigan Center for Innovative Research awards communities across Michigan for their efforts in contributing to entrepreneurial growth and economic development. Our city was recognized as an honored community at an awards banquet on October 22nd at the university's campus in Dearborn, Michigan. The Assistant Dean, Tim Davis, said, "By analyzing high-performing communities, our goal is to showcase what cities are doing to spur growth and how we can continue to support their efforts in developing businesses and encouraging entrepreneurs." One of the projects that was highlighted was the expansion of our foreign trade zone, which will facilitate international trade throughout Chippewa County. This award marks the 6th time in 7 years that our city's been recognized. And on behalf of the Economic Development Corporation and its Board of Directors, I'd like to present this award to our Mayor, Don Gary. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Certainly has been a great award that EDC has received on behalf of the city year after year after year for 6 years. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments for Jeff, even though he retreated to the back.
Great job.
Thank you, Jeff. Good job.
Good. The next item under communications is from the Local Officers Compensation Commission, increase in pay for mayor and city commissioners.
Thank you. For commission consideration is a recommendation from the Local Officers Compensation Commission. They are recommending a 2% increase that follows the union and non-union employees for the mayor and the elected commission. There is no action that has to be taken tonight for this to go into effect. The commission can take other action if they so wish to.
As the city manager mentioned, that no action is required for this increase to take effect, but in years past, in 2009, 2013, 2015, and 2017, the city commission did reject the requested increase. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Commissioner Collins.
So in order to decline the 2% increase, we can just make a motion to decline it?
Correct, and it had to be a unanimous vote.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to decline it.
Is there support?
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker? Yes. Commissioner Bosbus Rath?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Mayor Gary.
Yes. Motion passed. Thank you.
Item 3 under communications is from Linda Hoth, CVB Executive Director, Sault Ste. Marie Convention and Visitors Bureau 2019 report.
Welcome, Linda.
Well, thank you. Well, it's great to be here with you guys.
Now that we have you on the hot spot.
Yeah, you got me on the hot spot now, right. I've been talking about how great this year has been, and I haven't been able to give people a lot of reports and stuff, a lot of different things going on. And as you said, now the election's over, we can all sit back and just kind of take a breather here. But I wanted to talk about the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And Jody, I don't know if you know, since you're a new commissioner, how we're funded. We're funded for 5% of every hotel room that is sold. So that's how we're funded. So that's where our funds come from. So it's, the more people that spend the night, the more we get to spend on marketing. I wanted to present to you to start an overview for 2019 and a glance into 2020 for our tourism. Within the 17 years that I've been here, Executive Director, I have not seen numbers like this. It's been just an amazing year. Our numbers through the end of September are amazing. Sault CVB projected 4% increase over 2019. And we are 3.5% above that. If you can imagine, we're, almost between 7 and 8%. So it's been an amazing year, and it has proven to be a great year. I need to put my little video up there. This is some of the new programs we have and we're using now too, so this is a good thing. We're doing here is a brief overview. The Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's National Team Championship. We have calculated that this tournament had a $500,000 direct impact. They had 176 boats with 2 anglers per boat participate in the NTC. The CBB contracted them for up to $25,000. Back to the Bricks Car Show. 600 people, passengers, came into Sault Ste. Marie as a part of their travel show. They spent 2 nights, brought 201,600 to the area. The CBB paid about $2,500 in just excess. The National Walleye Tournament, we had 110 anglers plus 110 co-anglers, which mean an extra 110 rooms here. The direct economic impact of this event of our community was $229,900. The Sault CVB contracted for about $15,000. The Michigan Paranormal Convention that we've been doing for probably about 5 years, largest event of kind in the Midwest. We had 1,139 people attended the Michigan Paracon. The 3D event brought in $785,910 to our community. That's direct impact. The Michigan Bass National State Championship, 49 anglers and 49 co-anglers participated. The direct economic impact for this tournament is the Sault CVB was $200 and some thousand. So it's we paid about $8,000 to bring them in. We also had the 26 binational Trans-Superior International Yacht Race. 38 yachts started, 34 finished. The 27th, we don't really have an impact because we didn't know how many people were on it and how many nights they spent in a hotel, but it was a big event. So it was really, it's been a great, great summer. I did give you numbers in the back on the next 2 pages there. We can go on. The total for the direct economic impact for these events was $1,864,406. This does not include, this is directly the people that came for the event. This does not include anybody that came, family, friends, and some of these were national events that family did come, so this is the direct impact. The investment through the Sault CVB was $50,500. We could not have done any of these tournaments without the sponsorship from Keewatin Casinos, with rooms and food for the tournament staffing. The Sioux Tribe National Resource Fisheries Department, they were amazing. I have to say the City of Sault Ste. Marie Police Department, the Parks and Recreation, the Street Department, and the Engineering Department. They all played an intricate role in what we do here. So I have to say thank you to all of them because without them we couldn't do it. The total revenue spent on events this year was $72,500, at $22,000 spent on local events. We sponsored many events. One of the most recent was the NOJHL 2019 Showcase, with the possibility of having them back for the next 3 years. We gave $1,500 for that. That was one of the things that said they would come back and do. We support the downtown, and as Justin knows, I always believe the downtown is the heart and soul of a city. And when the downtown is successful, the rest of us will be also. So with a commitment of $3,000 a year for 5 years, we did the Main Street, an event-sponsored outhouse racing of $500 and yearly sponsorship of $3,000, and we just did the Christmas lights downtown for $2,700. We believe in the downtown, we believe in what's happening, and we really want to, as a destination marketing organization, I always say we're a destination management organization too. We have to put back into our city so we can make it better. Oops. You like that, eh, Justin? And we're going to do more next year, aren't we, Justin? Yes, we are. Our marketing expenses for 2019 through October, the CVB has spent $493,785. And we got more to spend too. We still have stuff in November and December that are coming through, so it's going to be great. With our budget of at about $550,000 for 2020. So, and it was a great. We had about the same amount in 2019, so it's been a great year. The CVB in 2020 will be making big changes in marketing and staff. We're making huge changes. We're revamping the website designed for both the PC and mobile layout. Included will be a full revamp of the overall design, mobile menu navigation, revamping, event calendar, and business profiles. New elements added for the second galleries and messaging. We're spending over $20,000 in this by April. And you're going to see, we'll go live probably right around the 1st of April so that we can figure out any kinks that we have during that time to make sure before our summer hits. We're going to be doing structured data schema implementation through 2020. Structured data is a system of pairing a name with a value that helps search engines categorize and index out content. It is a project that provides a particular set of agreed upon definitions for the microdata tags. We're finding, we've had about three years ago we did our website, and we're finding now that, everybody speaks into their phones. We need to be ahead of the curve. So we will be ahead of the curve in all of that and moving forward and making our website one of the best in the area. And it really is one of the best in the area. I keep doing this two-finger thing because I have an apple. I got to go backwards one. Besides the website, we're actually going to be doing more digital media. We are looking at more content management built with digital influencers, and our examples of the Michigan Playground. We just did one with them in the fall, and it was a lot of fun, and people really liked it. They are actually local boys that no longer live here. They live in Grand Rapids, and they've started their own business. I call them the Bailing Boys, and they are excellent. We'll be working with them probably 4 times in the next year. We also were working with, Under the Radar, and we have all that content now that we'll be putting out in this next year. We hired them over the last summer to do a lot of different content, and we'll be doing that. And the finalization of our budget will be December 5th. So a lot of the budget has already been approved, and we're going forward, but the finalizing everything will be December 5th. And I also wanted to tell you, I didn't add this in here, but we also signed a contract in the last couple weeks for Big Fish. That is one of the tournament people that came here last year will be doing Big Fish, and that is not for pros. It's for anybody. We'll be doing a fishing tournament, a bass fishing tournament, and at the end of the tournament, whoever has the biggest bass will win a boat. So it's anybody, and so we'll be really pushing that even outside of here. I think it's like the 21st and 22nd of August. And so we'll be pushing that all over and getting new people here at a time when we need them. I also want to let you know that we've been working with Trish and the campground, and we've actually booked 20 sites for them on a convention that'll be coming town in August also, at the end of July, I think it is. But we actually put it on our website, and they can actually book it right there, and we're working with her. We also got a phone call from her today and said she's working on another one that wants to do the same thing, which we'll put on our website because we can take credit cards, we can do that type of thing. So that's going to really help. And I say my final word, I said I like to go out strong. I want to let you know through the end of September, hotel revenue was over $13,500,000. So that revenue is for, jobs and going forward and money, people putting money into their hotels and all these things. So know that That's a lot of money, and we haven't even got October, November, or December in there yet. So do we have any questions?
Any questions from the commission? There's no doubt, Linda, that you do a wonderful job, and the CVB is involved in so much more than just the marketing of the Sioux. You have $500,000 in your budget there, but you also, the CVB, the DDA, the city, and I think the chamber created Sioux Events.
Yes. Yes.
And Sioux Events is responsible for many years and many, many events that have happened in the Sioux.
And remember that Sioux Events also is going through our office. I mean, we have the staffing to do it, so that's why it's in our office. We have that staffing, but we also, if people are looking for new events and they want to do an event, if we can help them, if we can figure out what the impact could be, if it's a feasibility, we will do it. You know, and then we'll split the revenue with them. So there's always that possibility. Like I'm working with Wilda at Birdseye. We're doing some other things too. So we're really working on some good stuff. So Sioux Events, and not just that, but we also do a lot of advocating at the state level. And of course with our federal levels too. We do, don't know how I ever got into politics, but I'm there. So it's about always being there and being able to give them the information that they need. And we still, thank God, this year there's no re-education to our legislators. We have them. But next year, in 2021, we'll have to start re-educating again. And that's a constant battle. Is there any other?
You're a great ambassador for the Sioux, and we thank you. And as Linda said, she was the previous president of the Michigan Association of Convention and Visitors Bureaus.
And past president right now,
Past
right?
president now, and all of the legislators listen to Linda. And we all know from going to our MML legislators that when we walk in the room, they don't say, hey, Don, they say, where's Linda? So,
That's because I spend a lot of time down there.
so, does anybody have any comments, Commissioner Talentino?
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Thank you, Linda, for everything you do. As everybody up here knows, regarding the inking of some budget items in Lansing, as she giggles, and I know you're very active there in the Pure Michigan campaigning. You got an update on that, how that's going, or is it still?
They're on break.
Oh,
It's deer hunting season.
very good.
Right up to the last minute. They are very close, I can tell you that. It was very, very close. And they're just about there, but I know that there was a little bit of glitch in the Senate. So but it will happen. I don't know if it'll be this 37.5 million, which is extremely important for us. I know she did offer 31 million. So we'll just have to wait and see. I know that they're working things out. And not just that, I hope they work out other things that we have within our region. You know, our schools, our small schools, we have to work out the $1 million for the carbide dock, the $600,000 to the Drummond Island Ferry. I mean, those things were cut. No, they weren't cut. They were moved. So, I mean, it's a constant thing. Is constantly working, is constantly staying on top of it. And I'm really blessed because I'm on the MACVB board, and we have a lobbyist who keeps us so right up to date. And then I also want to say we all sent you all an invitation to our annual meeting where you'll hear a lot more about what we're going to be doing next year in 2020. So you were cordially invited to attend the 2019 annual Sault Ste. Marie Convention and Visitors Bureau meeting and luncheon. It's December 5th at Keewatin Casino Hotel and Convention Center, Grand Ballroom. The board meeting will start at 11, and then we have, first I'll be giving a little overview, and then we have the Sioux Tribe Fisheries there, and then we'll have lunch, and then we'll have Gaslight Media, who is going to do our recap to explain to you what we're going to be doing, and we'll have Dave Serino with 26 Digital, who actually we moved the amount of money up from $100,000 to $130,000 that we'll be working with him with. So we're moving forward. I would really like to see you all there. You got it in your email. Just fill it out, send it back. And if anybody wants to come in the city, Robin, anybody, everybody's welcome. So if there's people that are really interested, please allow them, or if you have somebody that you know would be interested, please allow them. Because it's a time that we really talk about the community and what we can do together. I said the collaboration in this community has just been amazing. I said I work with all the attractions and we collaborate together in advertising, and so you take all those and put them together and it makes a great city that we have. So, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So December 5th, 2019, at Kuwaitan Casino Hotel and Convention Center, the CVB annual meeting. And moving into the city manager's report. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item for commission consideration is the authorization to waive the competitive bidding process and authorize the purchase for one new heart monitor defibrillator unit for the fire department. This is a two-motion item that we're looking for. The first one would be to waive the bid process for the heart monitor due to various reasons, mostly being consistency within the ambulance and with the staff. We would look to waive the bidding process. This is one of those items that's pretty specific to the user. We would like to keep the consistency with the equipment that we currently have. The second motion would be to authorize the purchase for the heart monitor defibrillator. The current cost comes in about $38,000. The company that we're working with is going to offer a $5,000 trade-in, which brings the cost down to about $33,000. This is a budgeted project at $33,000. So it's a little bit over what's currently budgeted, but there will be some funds coming in from a capital project that's under budget to cover the remaining cost that's currently unbudgeted. So we would look for a motion of support to waive the bid process and to authorize the purchase of the heart monitor unit.
And is this the second of 5? Is that where we are? Third of 5. Any questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner Collins?
So in here it states that it's it actually reads like it's the second, but it's actually the third of 5. And then also the question I have is it says that there's gonna be an $8,600 approximately carryover or surplus, and that's gonna carry over into next year.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, there was a carryover from last year, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to look at the numbers, but yeah, if there is any amount that's left over, it will get carried over till next year, unless an adjoining project were to come up and we could use the funds for that.
Yeah, it actually says in here that, it should be noted that carryover from last year's budget, there will remain a small surplus in this budget of $8,257. So I guess that was, my question is that that's gonna be carried over for a specific line item to purchase another one next year?
Yes, and that's what we've been doing the last handful of years
Okay.
with it.
And we only have 2 more to go, right?
2 more to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Until the cycle starts over. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Baker?
Motion to waive the city's competitive bidding process for the purchase of one LifePak 15 heart monitor from Physio Control Stryker.
Support?
It's been moved and support. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baspas Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes. And I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of one heart monitor defibrillator as presented.
Support?
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Baspas Rath.
Yes.
Motion approved. Thank you. Item number 2 of the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 2 for commission consideration is approval for the purchase of financial software from the company BS&A. This is a request from the finance department. What? Oh.
Mike? your name
Who's Mike? Sorry. New guy. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For commission consideration is a request for the purchase of financial software from the company BS&A. Within this request is several modules that would be purchased for a complete suite with BSNA. The total project price is $135,000. Half of the cost would come out of the fund balance for the IT this year. The remaining will come out of the next year's budget. The issue that we're really having is the city operates with two major pieces of software. BSNA houses our tax software, our code enforcement, some other departments like that. But our financial system is through Clarity, and as you're aware, the tax process feeds into the tax bill, which feeds into some other processes, and they're not communicating anymore. There's an upgrade that happened to Clarity a few months ago, and it kind of really knocked down the quality of services that we're having between them. So staff is getting a lot of issues between the two softwares. IT department's constantly kind of having to run around to make the two systems work. So there's going to be an efficiency within the departments just to be able to administer some of these day-to-day things. There is a customer element to this as well as a transparency element to it. The accounts payable and accounts receivable items have a module that's public facing. So if there was ever a question about any invoice that comes in, it can be placed on the website. You guys can have access to it, the public can access to it. So there's an element of transparency here too. So there's some goods with the software. It's gonna clean up a lot of internal issues, so it's not really a hot, sexy item for the public to really see, but there is a benefit to the public in some of these customer-facing modules. So we would look for a motion support to approve the purchase of the software with BSNA. Actually, I'm sorry, it's a two-step one. We would look for a motion to waive the bidding process and a motion to authorize the acquisition. Just a quick comment on the bidding process. Just like most softwares and even the heart monitor that we just purchased, most of these things are becoming almost sole sourced within the industry. And the fact that we have BSNA for a whole series of other processes, we feel that it's best to waive this process to make sure we get the other side of the software so they can fully integrate with one another.
Thank you, City Manager. You did answer some of the questions that I had in regard to this topic and the timing of the purchase. And it looks like Commissioner Collins, you have a question?
So in here, it states that the annual service fee after we do the purchase of this new software is $10,625. Do we know what we're paying right now for an annual service contract?
Director Collins, you know?
I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it's close. I've looked at them and they're very similar.
So my second question then is, being that that's part of this project or package, do we need to have a motion to approve that ongoing expense? Or is that just rolled into the budget?
The ongoing software maintenance is included in the budget and will suffice for this year, and then I don't anticipate a large increase next year.
Gotcha, so because it's basically the same as what we're paying right now, we don't need to do anything? Okay,
I expect that.
okay.
And the service fee wouldn't kick into year two anyways. All those costs are rolled into the upfront cost for year one. So you wouldn't see that annual maintenance fee until year two anyways.
So it's not a monthly type of a thing, gotcha, okay. Thank you.
Good questions. Thanks, Commissioner Collins. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Commissioner Collins, did you want to make the motion?
Make a motion to waive the bidding process if upon further research, city administration determines that BS&A will provide the best value for its financial system software.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any question or comment? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Mayor Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bospis Rath?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
And Commissioner Collins?
Make a
Second
mo-
half.
Thank you. Make a motion to authorize the acquisition of financial software suite and schedule conversion of data at an estimated cost of $135,000 to be spread over 2 fiscal years.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gary?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bospis Rath?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you. Number 3 on the city manager's report. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commission consideration is the operational budget review for the first quarter. There's a lot of information that was provided in Director Collins' memo. I'm just gonna touch on some high points. If you have more specific questions, we can call Director Collins up to field those. Just in general, one of the bigger changes that you'll see throughout the memo in terms of an expense comes from the health insurance increase. I got it. Comes from the health insurance increase. As council's aware, on October 7th, you approved some changes of thresholds for the employee benefits. So a lot of the line items within the expense side of the budget are increasing to reflect that change. Within the general fund, there's a couple of major changes that are coming down. The revenue from the International Bridge for a payment in lieu of tax type situation, it's going to be a little bit less than what was originally communicated to the city. So there's a decrease in revenue from about $40,000 on that one. On the other side of it, there is an increase in about $90,000 of it. That stems from our management taking over the Ann Osborne Campground. In general, with everything, little changes, the general fund is going to see an increase in revenues, about $119,000 or so. On the expenditure side within the general fund, the first section, there's a lot of changes that are relating to my employment. Salaries are being estimated a little bit lower. Obviously, there wasn't a city manager for a few months, but there's an offsetting increase within some of the fringe benefits relating to my moving and some of the details within my contract. There will be an increase in expenditures on that. So we have that detailed for you all. Within the DPW budget, there's most things are on target. One of the bigger expenses that is going to come down is 2 unbudgeted retirements, about $29,000 or so. We'll look for adjustments in there. Within the parks budget, there's a point that we will have to discuss next month, and we'll just touch base on it right now. There was a kind of a conflict between the budget and some of the action that was taken last year. The Polar was budgeted to have some closures within the facilities during the fiscal year. That wasn't necessarily changed in the budget, so we'll have to bring that back to commission in the December meeting to finalize that. Just some other changes are going on. Overall, the general fund is going to be hitting about a negative $23,000 right now. There's a lot of that's due to the expenses. Those are changing. Everything else seems on track. Some changes in the health insurance. The LDFA, there's a grant revenue that's coming in for the EDC, about $26,000. There's some transfers going on between the different funds to keep one alive. There's been an approval between the boards to keep them, or once they're on par, to repay the funds. Sewer and water fund is on target. 27% of the budget for water and 28% of the sewer revenues have came in. The actual usage is a little bit ahead of expectations, but we'll continue to monitor that as we move forward. There's another retirement coming out of that fund that was unplanned, about roughly $28,000. The IT fund, there was another change in that related to healthcare fringe benefits. Employee healthcare fund is running about where it should be, and that's kind of the high points.
Thank you, City Manager. Do any of the commissioners have any questions or comments? Commissioner Collins.
So basically, the net effect of all of the changes to the general fund is about a negative 23,000, that's what you stated?
Correct, right about now, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Bosphus Rath, would you like to make a motion to authorize the budget revisions as presented?
Motion to authorize budget revisions for the 2019-20 fiscal year as follows. General fund revenues increase.
Give it the long one.
Thank you. General fund revenues increased 9,000.
You could say as presented.
Oh, as presented. That sounds great.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bosphus Rath?
Yes.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino?
Yes.
Mayor Gary?
Yes. Thank you, motion passed. Item number 4 on the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For commission consideration is an authorization for budget amendments related to the downtown access and placemaking project. As the commission was made aware a few weeks ago, once the project hit a certain point, being 30% done. Sorry. The budget, so when the designs got 30% of the way they're done, there was a requirement to have another cost estimate done. The original cost for the project was estimated to be about $5 million. Based on certain increases in costs related to construction and the design kind of creeping a little bit larger than what it was, the actual costs are now about $9 million. In working with staff, that project was able to be knocked down a little bit, so the gap is roughly $2 to $3 million. We worked with finance, the engineering department, DDA, to kind of come up with some sources of funds to help bridge that gap. Most of them are within our control. We will have to go out and get a loan for the water revolving fund. There's also a contribution from the Sioux tribe for about $800,000 to be able to make this happen. Right now, what the commission is going to be approving is the plan and concept. The MEDC wants to make sure that we are fully supporting the project, even with the project increase in costs. Part of the problem with this is the MEDC grant maxes out at $5 million, and there's no increasing that. And if we actually took away from the scope of the project, they did away with the $5 million grant, went to $2 million. So we would fall into this new grant category, essentially putting us another $3 million short. So there was a gap. We found some opportunities. Again, what you're approving tonight is the concept. We will then take the concept with your approval, if given, to the MEDC to solidify that plan with them. So staff would look for a motion support to amend the budget to reflect the changes presented.
Thank you, City Manager. And I think as we've discussed a few times, that this is really a transformational project for the downtown. And we would be foregoing an opportunity and losing $3 million basically in financial assistance. And we certainly appreciate the cooperation and collaboration of Sioux Tribe and Aaron Paymont for pledging possibility of $800,000 and the creativity of city engineer, city manager, and everybody involved in trying to find funds available so that we could complete this project. So do any of the commissioners have any questions or comments for the city manager or city engineer? Do we have a motion to support? Commissioner Baker?
Motion to approve the downtown accessing and placemaking grant amended budget as presented.
Support.
So it's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Baspas Rath,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Talentino,
Yes.
Mayor Gary,
Yes.
Commissioner Baker.
Yes.
Motion passed. Thank you. And item number 5 on the city manager's report. City manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For council, or for commission consideration is a proposal to open the streets for use of ATVs on the city streets, alleys, and right-of-ways. This is a commission goal from earlier this year. The ordinance has been in place, so basically what we'll be looking to do is approve a resolution to restrict the ATVs to the following streets listed in your agenda supplement. Staff would look for a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the operation of off-road vehicles on the city streets, alleys, and right-of-ways.
Thank you, city manager. And Commissioner Collins, I know that you had this before us a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah,
we hung you out to dry a little bit on it, so.
it's all good fun, right? The streets that are listed are the ones that are gonna be restricted, so all the other streets would be open.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, because the way it was stated, it sounded like these were the.
Oh, I'm sorry. That
So-
wasn't my intention, no.
So, okay, thank you.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Talentino?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a great, this is definitely one of our goals, and I definitely want to see this forward. I just have two quick questions. One, did I miss a date on this, or should we date this? I mean, for a certain time that these ORVs can be on the streets? And two, is this gonna include golf carts? Because we know the golf carting is becoming an issue. So I guess my question is it golf carts, and should we date this from this date to this date, the ORVs? There's no sense in having them in the wintertime because they can't touch the snowmobile trails legally. So I just curious on those two items.
Good questions, Commissioner.
I'm not 100% sure if it would include golf carts, Chief Riley.
Way to throw you under the bus. Thank you. The way that I understand it, it's ORVs, what do you call them, razors, side-by-sides, whatever, does not include golf carts. Golf carts is a completely different vehicle. Time, are you talking about, you say dated, you talking about time of day and when they can be used, or?
No, Chief, I'm talking more in the situation of from March 1st to September, as far as an actual time frame on it, because I don't think we want them on the road in the wintertime, do we? Am I missing something here?
Well, that would be up to you. Whatever you want to approve in the ordinance. Snowmobile, of course, you can't use if there's no snow. These things, I see them out on the res year-round. We're gonna, as a police department, we're gonna handle them just like snowmobiles. We'll arrest the drunks and speeders and chase them down when they run from us. So we'll handle them and arrest who needs to be arrested.
Okay.
But I look at the golf carts as a completely different vehicle than an RV.
City Attorney would like to read from our ordinance the definition of off-road vehicle.
This is from Chapter 24, Article 7, Off-Road Vehicles. ORV, or vehicle, is a motor-driven, off-road recreational vehicle capable of cross-country travel without benefit of a road or trail, on or immediately over land, snow, ice, marsh, swampland, or other natural terrain. It includes, but is not limited to, multi-track or multi-wheel, drive or low-pressure tire vehicle, a motorcycle or related two-wheel or three-wheel vehicle, an amphibious machine, a ground effect air cushion vehicle, or other means of transportation deriving motive power from a source other than muscle or wind. ORV or vehicle does not include registered snowmobile, a farm vehicle being used for farming, a vehicle used for military, fire, emergency, or law enforcement purposes, a construction or logging vehicle used in performance of its common function, or a registered aircraft. So it specifically does not say golf carts. However, if I saw Bucky Cook's golf cart one time, and it clearly could travel cross-country without benefit of a road or trail. So that's the key definitional part of it. It's factually determinative on the vehicle itself. So I would say that golf carts would be allowed to operate under the streets under our ordinance as it reads.
It's up to you.
Is that,
And then, I'm sorry, just going to the timing question. I don't know. I mean, that wasn't the intent to put some kind of seasonal time onto it. Certainly if the commission wished to do something like that, we may be able to look into it. I'm not sure if it's necessary or not, though.
Commissioner Talentino?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we're covered, because I know especially the golf cart is gonna come up. It's going to be an issue, okay? As far as the timing, I was just thinking about that today, do we need them on the road in January, February, what have you? Yes, I just wanna make sure that we as a city are covered on this, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, good comments. Commissioner Collins?
So I guess I got a question for Commissioner Talentino then. What issue are you referring to with the golf carts? Because I'm not sure, I'm well aware of that.
Commissioner Talentino?
Well, I really don't have an issue with the golf carts, I just wanna make sure that by pushing this through and moving forward with this, that we either are gonna let the golf carts or we aren't. I guess I'm trying not, I don't want no gray matter here, we need to really be really simple on this. Either they are or they're not.
Okay. I apologize, because I thought you were saying that there was gonna be an issue with them, like there was something going on with, people being on the streets and they're not supposed to be. So the way that I read this is that, yeah, the definition is that the golf carts would be used on the streets, and I don't have a problem with that either. As far as the timing issue, I grew up in the Sioux riding the three-wheelers, and I rode three-wheelers all year round. So even though I wasn't going to a specific trail, and actually, we did drive the ATVs on the snowmobile trails, even though they weren't supposed to. But with the way the seasons are and the roads, I don't really necessarily want to restrict, a good idea, but I don't necessarily want to restrict ATVs to not be running like from, November to March, because we don't know when we're going to get snow, and we don't know what the weather's going to be like. And if the roads are bare, I want people to be able to ride the ATVs. Because the whole idea of this is to allow access to town, and I guess I don't really look at it as a way to just get to access to the trails. I do believe that most kids or most people are gonna be coming into town and use the roads to get to restaurants and so forth. They're not gonna use it as general transportation, but on the other side of it, I don't wanna restrict basically the use of them any time of the year. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Baker? No? Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Collins, did you want to make a motion?
Can I make a comment before that?
Sure.
Obviously, if we do see that there's a problem, this is basically, we're doing this by resolution, so we can change the resolution at any time. Just like the snowmobile, we added a road that was not to be driven on in front of Wadding School after people had said that they didn't want snowmobiles to ride on that road. So my thought is that if we do see that it's a problem of ATVs being on the roads a certain time of the years or so forth, we can obviously change that. So I look at this as kind of a starting place. It mimics the snowmobile resolution that we have out there right now. So literally, it's exactly the same as far as the roads that are restricted. And again, we can just change it as we go forward. With that, I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Sorry. Drank coffee before I came. Motion to approve the included resolution authorizing operation of off-road vehicles on city streets, alleys, or right-of-ways.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. And item H, status report. Nothing at this time. Item I, matters presented by the public. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to bring a matter before the commission at this time? Seeing none, matters presented by the commission, city commission. None? No matters. All right. Commissioner Bospas Rath, would you like to make the motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn this meeting.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.